Good day, liberators and fellow South Africans. I'm again excited as always the moment when I share news from Liberty Fighters Network. Um, just last week, we have submitted our submission in the second African Commission on Human and People's Rights case, which involves judicial corruption. Um, yeah, we've had some interesting comments on social media lately by Mr. Ruud and so forth, and he's sure that he has come to the point of exposing the entire judiciary. Um, yeah, in our first matter before the African Commission on Human and People's Rights sees relating to judicial corruption, we have also indicated that the National Prosecuting Authority was involved in investigating the two judges involved. Later, Chief Justice Mogoeng was requested to also assist, and he just swept everything underneath the table, filed it in File 13. It was escalated to the South African Human Rights Commission. They said, yeah, no, there's definitely major issues there, and it was going back and forth. We've ended up in the High Court, going to the Constitutional Court at the end of the day, and notwithstanding that Mogoeng was a problem in that very matter, he was even part of the quorum of the court who allegedly dismissed our matter. Then, hence the reason why it was eventually escalated to the African Commission. Now, in the second case of Van Heerden, in the first one, Mogoeng was implicated, and now in the second one, let me show you on the piece of paper who is. Oh, it's our very new Chief Justice, Mr. Raymond Zondo. Congratulations! You have also managed to be implicated in a case of suspected judicial corruption in the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. So it's going to be interesting to see whether South Africa eventually is going to answer on this Van Heerden matter, because since 2019, they have declined to even participate in the investigation um, relating to the suspected judicial corruption of two judges mentioned then already. And let me just quickly go to this latest case of in the Van Heerden matter, and I just want to show you the complaint that we've got, um, and just summarize it. That there it is. The complaint in summary relates to the belief of the complainants, Mr. Van Heerden and his company, which he was the sole director and sole shareholder of. Um, they believe that the courts of the state party, which is South Africa, had deliberately and intentionally, with the intention to harm the first and second complainants, violated the human and people's rights of the complainants by having made hostile rulings due to the fact that the complainants were not represented by a legal practitioner and access to the courts of the state party was inter alia blocked or otherwise unlawfully, illegally compromised. So there you've got it. That is the introduction paragraph to that complaint. Currently, the second one before the African Commission on People's Rights. So we have gone the entire route. We've seen that the National Prosecuting Authority will not investigate the judges. We've seen that judges like Zondo did will not make any finding against their own. They will sweep everything under the table. And why are they doing it? Because we are saying that the judiciary of South Africa have been compromised by the government and by large corporations like the banking industry. The banking industry, people, why would a judge protect the banking industry? The banking industry, remember that judges have been legal practitioners before, either attorneys or advocates. I haven't heard of anyone. I'm not aware of a judge other than a legal practitioner who has been appointed. Although the Act does make provision that a judge may be a professor or someone with legal knowledge, I'm not familiar that that has ever happened. But besides, maybe you can comment and identify one of those judges. But remember that legal practitioners, their best clients are the banking industry. So if you've got, you will seldom find a legal practitioner who is not on the roll of banks. Hence the reason why when you are being summoned by your bank for arrears, um, when you go to an attorney, that attorney will never tell you that, sorry, we on the roll of that very bank or on a bank's roll to serve them too. But then they come out and tell you, yeah, you need to make an arrangement and they will facilitate it. So they will never easily go out and defend the matter for you. And if they do, it's suspicious, and you can almost 100% guarantee that there's going to be an adverse finding against you. So whenever you go to an attorney and ask them to help you with a problem, a summons that you've received from your bank, ask them whether they are on the roll of that very bank or any bank for that matter, because the attorney will never bite the hand that is feeding him. Remember that. So that is why we are advocating that people who are going, who need to oppose and defend cases against the bank, people try and do it yourself. You will have likely more results, positive results, in you opposing it in person than going to an attorney and paying that attorney to do it for you. Um, for the very reason that you will find that the attorney will never give you the right advice, because the thing is very easy to oppose those matters. Um, Simply ask the the bank to provide you with the original title deed and the original signed bond documents. You want to investigate it, because 99% of all these loans, on which banks are suing you at the end of the day, have been securitized, meaning that they have sold it already to another investor. And that loan is not with that bank anymore, although they are collecting the money, which they are actually doing illegally. But in any event, people, the judiciary, when it comes to a self-represented litigant like Van Heerden was, um, you will find that they don't like self-represented litigants, because self-represented litigants, like we also do, we actually span in the works of the operations of the illegal cartel, of the banking industry, by actually putting spanners in the works of the legal system. So whenever you oppose a matter in person, you immediately put the entire legal fraternity on their backs, because they don't like to work with lay litigants. They use the term layperson and lay litigants because of the fact that they're actually afraid of you. They know that you are capable of going to the constitutional court if you want to, and make the lives of their very clients miserable in having to pay them as legal practitioners, but your costs are basically zero when you represent yourself. But I've basically, the purpose of this video was basically to say, people, the judiciary is not our friend. They have become our enemy, in totally violating all our human rights. And when I talk human rights, I'm not only referring to the Bill of Rights contained in our constitution, which currently means less than a piece of used toilet paper, but even the African Charter. The African Charter makes it clear what your basic human rights are, and those rights have been violated time and time again, especially over the past 2 years since the COVID-19 narrative started. People, I will go into more detail on this. Please like this video, share it amongst others, follow us, ring the bell, and consider becoming a member of our channel as well. Thank you very much for your support. God bless.